Hey guys, all right, so today we're going to be talking about section 1.3, the kingdoms of living organisms. There are 5 kingdoms of living organisms. Those 5 kingdoms are animal, plant, fungi, protoctista, and prokaryotes. Now, in your notes that you're going to see that I post on Canvas, you're going to need to know the characteristics of each of those kingdoms. For animal, we need to focus on everything that's here in these little bulleted sections. So they are multicellular, and their bodies typically contain many cells. Cells have a nucleus but no cell wall or chloroplast, and they feed on organic substances made by other living organisms. Now, the animal kingdom is very vast, and we will actually, in section 1.6, dive a little bit further into, or I think it's 1.5, dive a little bit further into the animal kingdom. For plants, pretty self-explanatory. Most of us have seen a plant before. They are multicellular. Cells contain a nucleus as well as cell walls made of cellulose, which is a fiber that is very hard and sturdy. It's what gives it its strength. We also cannot break it down, so it's considered as roughage when we eat these types of plants. And then their cells also often contain chloroplast. Plants feed by photosynthesis and may have roots, stems, and leaves. And we're going to learn about each of those in coming units when we dive into our plant sections. All right, so for the third kingdom, we have fungi, however you'd like to pronounce that. A fungus has these following characteristics. They usually are multicellular. They have nuclei. They have cell walls, but those cell walls are not made of cellulose. They do not have chlorophyll, but they feed typically by parasitic nutrition, which means they feed off of some other type of living organism. And this would include things like mold and even mushrooms. Then we move on to protoctista. These are, the examples of these are like paramecium, which are single-celled, and then we do have some multicellular organisms such as seaweed that fall into the group of protists or protoctista. So we have, for their characteristics, they are multicellular, at times unicellular as well. Cells have a nucleus. Cells may or may not have a cell wall or chloroplast. And some feed by photosynthesis while others feed on organic substances. So they can shift either way. And then finally, for our 5th and final kingdom, we have the kingdom prokaryotes, which is where all of our bacteria fall. Characteristics of bacteria are that they are often unicellular, so single-celled. They have no nucleus. They have cell walls, but not made of cellulose. And those having cell walls is actually what makes antibiotics so effective, and we're going to learn about that in later units. And then bacteria also have no mitochondria. So that's the characteristics of prokaryotes, our 5th and final kingdom. So take your notes that are on Canvas and get to work. I'll check back in with you with our Check for Understanding quiz.